You are now tuned in to the statpadders podcast, where we debate NFL, NBA, fantasy sports, and entertainment. Today we are going to be talking about the NBA. Yes, the NBA. The NBA is back, so I'm going to give you some facts you need to know about the season after the stoppage. Subscribe to us here on YouTube at the statpadders podcast. Check us out on Spotify. Also check us out on Twitter at the statpadders PC. All the links will be in the description. I'm Marcus with a K. Let's get right into it. Things you need to know about the NBA season restarting after this coronavirus shortened the season and ended it. Okay, let's get right into it. When does the 2019-20 season restart begin and end? The season will start July 31st, and players will start reporting June 15th to the Orlando resorts at Disney World, and it will end no later than October 12th. That's like, if necessary, Game 7 will be October 12th of the NBA Finals, if it has to go to Game 7. All right, there's a total of 22 teams that will return to play this season. So basically, it's 8 teams from the West, 8 teams from the East that was already in there, and then they added on a couple of more teams. I'm gonna give you the teams from the East that made it. Let's see, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Toronto Raptors, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers, Philadelphia 76ers, the Brooklyn Nets, Orlando Magic, Washington Wizards. And the teams from the West that also made it are the Los Angeles Lakers, LA Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, the Utah Jazz, OKC Thunder, Houston Rockets, one of my favorite teams, them and the Nuggets, Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trail Blazers are part of the new teams added from the 8. The New Orleans Pelicans, the Sacramento Kings, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Phoenix Suns will be the last team. They're the 6 teams that are currently 6 games fewer behind the 8 seed in their respective conferences. Okay, what are the seeding games? They're gonna play an 8-game regular season. So, for instance, say the Houston Rockets had 8 games on their schedule. They're gonna play them exact 8 games, and if them teams didn't make the 22 teams respectively, they'll just go on to the next game, then go on to the next game till it's someone that they play. So, like, for instance, Houston Rockets' first game will be the Los Angeles Lakers, because that was really on their schedule. And that's how they'll determine the matchups for the 8-game regular season. So each all the 22 teams, they'll have an 8-game regular season starting on July 31st, and then that's how they're gonna start the seedings. The games will be played at Orlando, at Walt Disney Company and World Resorts. That will be the only site for the playoffs, for the 8-game regular season, for the finals. That's going to be the only place. So teams don't got to travel, so that's a good thing. So some teams, they ain't going to, because that travel really weighs on players. So that will be good. And players are allowed to bring family members, but only selected few. I'm not sure how many family members, probably like 3 of them or whatever, their wife and kids or their moms or whatever. So they're going to be able to bring a couple of family members each. They're going to keep them all isolated at the Disney Resort, at Disney World. The players will be allowed to play golf and like eat outdoors at the resort and stuff. And like I said, they're going to be reporting June 15th to the resort, and I think they're going to be tested regularly. And the medical protocols, I think each player will get a test, and each player will get a test, and say a player test is positive, they said teams will be able to sign selected players. I wonder what type of players will they be able to sign, like free agent players, I guess. And like, say someone got the virus, so they'll be able to sign players so they can have a full roster. And there's 22 teams. How would the playoff season work with the 22 teams? The 7 teams in each conference with the best records of the regular season seeding games will have clinched the playoff spot, as the usual tiebreaker scenarios will be in place for those seeds. The 8 seed could potentially come down to a play-in tournament. So, okay, how would that tournament work? Play-in tournament work? If the team with the 8th best record in the conference, more than 4 games ahead of the team with the 9th best record in the same conference, no play-in tournament will be necessary. The final berth will simply just go to the 8th best record regular season game plus seedings. But if the team with the 8th best record in the conference is 4 games or fewer ahead of the team with the 9th best record of the same conference, then they'll have a battle of the final spot between those 2 teams. The tournament will basically be a best of 2 series where the 9th seed would have to win 2 head-to-head matchups to take over the 8th spot. But if the 8th seed will only have to beat that 9th seed one time. So basically, say, for instance, Portland Trail Blazers is in the 8th seed, but the Pelicans is 3 games behind them. They'll have to do a play-in tournament, and the Pelicans will need to beat the Portland Trail Blazers twice to get the 8th seed. But if Portland beats them once, they'll get the 8th seed. So that basically the 8th seed has to be 4 games higher than that 9th seed, and they won't need to play. Every team that 8th seed will be safe, and they won't need to play a play-in tournament. And this is for each conference. Okay, there's 16 teams. Will the playoffs be any different? No, there's 16-team playoff field set. The NBA playoff will proceed in traditional conference-based format, featuring the usual best-of-7 series in the first round, conference finals, conference semifinals, and the finals. Okay, so that's it. So they basically get a chance to do reseeding. I kind of like that. So teams can move up. Like right now, the Lakers have the 1 seed. Milwaukee has the 1 seed. So they could potentially, in the 8-game regular season that they play, they could potentially fall to the 2nd or 3rd. I kind of like that. And then the playoff matches will be set. And like I said, the Game 7 of the NBA Finals will be October 12th if necessary. And I kind of like that. The NBA draft is scheduled for October 15th. Free agency, they'll be able to sign free agents October 15th. And 2021, the NBA season, the 2021 NBA season will start December 1st. Because normally it'll start like in October. But since the games are going to be played with this stoppage, they're planning on to start the season, the 2021 season, December 1st. And they suspended drug testing, but they will test for PEDs. So that means like they smoke weed, they could smoke weed, I guess. That's what that means. They could do drugs, they could do coke, they could do all that, but they will test for PEDs and they will test the players for the COVID virus. But yeah, the NBA's back. I'm excited. I still don't know what they're gonna do with the fantasy. It might just be daily fantasy, where you could just bet like on DraftKings, and like the season-long fantasies. I think that's over. So if you were in the 1 seed, I think you basically won your fantasy league. And I know that kind of sucks because I'm in 2 NBA fantasy leagues, and 1 league I'm tied for first. And I'm tied for first, but I got less points, so I'm in 2nd place. So that means I lost that lead. And then my other lead, I'm tied for first, but I got more points, so I'm in the 1st seed. So that means I'm probably going to end up winning that. So I think I'm happy with that. This is my 6th year in a row winning. Like I said, I'm Marcus with K. If you want to win your fantasy league, listen to what I got to say. But yeah, the NBA's back. I'm excited. July 31st. It's going to be interesting to see what players come back in shape, what players have been working out, and what players haven't. And it's just going to be very interesting. I'm glad they're coming back. I kind of like it. I think the Lakers is going to win it when the whole thing. LeBron got rest, and their chemistry was amazing. So yeah, I got the Lakers winning it, but I hope the Nuggets, being a homer, I hope the Nuggets win, or the Houston Rockets. And my prediction for the 8 seeds, I like Portland getting that 8 seed for the West. And For the East, the 8 seed, I think it's just going to stay the same. I don't think none of them playing teams is going to go ahead 4 games. So I like Portland just making a splash and getting an 8 seed with this. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up. The NBA's back. I'm excited. 22 teams, 13 from the West, 9 from the East. It's going to be Orlando, Walt Disney. It's going to be fun to watch, man. Finally get some sports to watch. I ain't heard nothing about baseball. Not that I watch that anyway. But right now I would be watching baseball just to get any type of sports in. But yeah, the NBA's back. This is the statpadders podcast. I'm Marcus with a K. I'll be back with another pod like either Wednesday or Thursday. It might be some fantasy, but I'll let you know. Stay updated. Like I said, check our Spotify, check our Twitter, check the Instagram. I forgot to mention that. The Instagram, statpadders podcast on Instagram. Follow us. I post rankings up there. I post a bunch of stuff up there, fun facts. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Statpadders podcast, stat padding. Check us out, man. I'm Marcus with a K. OUT. Peace.